Well, welcome, Wasim, to Aaron's Opinion. Um, where shall we begin today, as I always like to say? I want you to tell me, and you can tell me for as long as you like, but basically, I think a good summary of a response will do. Who is Wasim? Who are you?
Hi, my name is Wasim. I am a YouTuber. My channel is called Wind Tiger. I do audio games, and by audio games, I mean games for the visually impaired slash blind. And what audio game means, it just means a game only using sound. It has no visuals, nothing more to it, just sound and stuff like that. A little bit about me personally. I am 23 years old. I work at the Hilton Garden Inn in Twin Falls, Idaho, which is where I'm from. And that's Idaho, United States. A little bit more about myself.
Exactly my sense of humor. Exactly.
But that's pretty much about me. I like anything that's to do with nature, walking, hiking, camping, stuff like that.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Would you like to share with our audience a little bit more about your background, what you were telling me about where you grew up? Because a lot, I mean, you don't have to, but a lot of people think it's interesting.
Oh, absolutely. I grew up originally in the Middle East, Baghdad, Iraq, to be exact.
To be exact, by
Um,
the way, one of the world's first civilizations and one of the most important cities in history.
oh yeah. And I have ocular glaucoma, which is just pretty much eye pressure. I mean, pretty much speaking, just eye pressure. Um, and I went blind when I was 3 or 4 due to some bad surgeries because, as you guys know, maybe you don't. There's a lot of like bad hospitals, bad medical stuff like that in Iraq. We just don't have the medical advancements that the United States does, and they unfortunately messed up a couple surgeries, and I could see as like for example, to give you an example, I would be sitting across the room, I could be watching a TV. Now I have to get like close, like 2 to 3 feet from something before I can even be able to distinguish anything at all. And that's how bad they messed up with surgeries, unfortunately. And then from there, I moved to Jordan and I stayed there for 4 years. And then when I was 8 years old, I came to the United States and I've been living here since.
Excellent, very good. So, in Jordan, do you think you were living in Amman, Molfrak, Erbid, Petra, Salt?
It,
What?
it was Amman.
Amman. Okay, well, that's
Mm-hmm,
really interesting. Cool,
mm-hmm.
cool. I think Wasim, you said something interesting. Is that the doctors messed up the surgeries? You know that. I mean, the answer is it could have been the case, but on top of it, every eye surgery goes differently, and there's always a spectrum of, you know, you never really know how some of these surgeries work out. It doesn't. Every surgery doesn't work out perfectly, even at the best hospital with the best doctor in the United States.
That's
So
true. Yeah,
Y-
that's true. But
So I
also,
mean, you have to take it into consideration that it's a practice too. But yes, you very well could be right.
I know I'm right because for one thing, when they did the stitching, they actually never like bound my hands with anything, like, or like kept watching me so I wouldn't itch them. So I kept itching my eyes because the stitches itched and they kept bleeding, and that's what actually messed it up. And that
Hmm.
was pretty much the nail in the coffin. Was they never washed me. They ended up doing the surgery 3 times that day because they would not watch
Oh
me,
my. Oh
and I
my.
kept
Already.
rubbing
Already
my
hurts.
eyes open, and then the surgery kept
Yeah.
reopening again and again until
Oh.
blood got into my corneas, my retinas, and everything, and damaged them to beyond repair.
Right. Yeah, this happens not just in Iraq, but a lot of this is a big problem in a lot of countries. So, what are some of the experiences you had while growing up? in Idaho.
Like experiences, like you have to be more specific. I've had lots of experiences.
Well, okay, all right. Sometimes I like to ask open-ended questions to see where it goes. Why don't you talk more about your schooling in the United States and some of the really interesting things or funny things or sad things that happened to you there?
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
schooling wise, I actually went to the Idaho School for the Deaf and Blind. I honestly have nothing bad to say about that school. I honestly was giving all the tools that I need, all the education, pretty much everything I need, honestly. Growing up, like barely coming into the school, there was a lot of bullying because I was from the Middle East, and obviously, a lot of people mistake people from the Middle East as Muslims. They automatically assume, hey, just because you're from the Middle East, you're Muslim. As a matter of fact, I am not. I
Right.
am just Iraqi. I am not Muslim, but a lot of people thought, oh, just because he's from the Middle East, he's Muslim. So it got to like a lot of the first year, there was a lot of like talk about terrorist this and terrorist that. And it was just not really fun at all. It
No.
was really frustrating.
Sure.
And to top it off, I was barely learning English. So it took me like 9 months to learn English. It wasn't really that long because I was young enough that I caught on quickly, but it was not really being fun being bullied for something that was not even
Well,
of my
it's not
culture.
okay. It's not fun to be bullied for anything, really. So yeah.
Yeah, true. And yeah, it was not right that they literally bullied me just because I was from a different place, and then just because they didn't really understand about it. And when I tried to explain to them, my English got in the way, obviously. And, yeah, it was just really frustrating.
Hmm. So now you speak English perfectly. How did you go about learning English as a child, or was it just a matter of just
It
being
was
in
a
the environment?
matter of, yeah, it was a matter of just listening to people and just catching on. I honestly had some good teachers that were really honest, great people. Like my teacher, Mr. Cheney, he actually would sit there and take time out of his class, like 15, 20 minutes out of his class, and literally just go over human anatomy pretty much and what body parts were called, what like vehicles were called, and he would just sit there and tell me words and explain what they meant and stuff like that. He was a really great teacher, and
Well,
if it
thank you.
wasn't
You know
for
what?
him,
Well,
I
thank you.
honestly.
So we want to say right here, thank you, Mr. Cheney, because as a fellow teacher, I love it when I hear that other teachers around the world do the right thing. You know, that really exemplifies my message that I say here at Aaron's Opinion: help one person today and a million tomorrow. You know, that really is evidence
Mhm.
of that. You know, you really have to take the time out to help people. So thank you, Mr.
Yeah,
Cheney.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and like I really do appreciate him for that, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have caught on to English so fast and so quickly. But what kind of teacher are you, Aaron? If you don't mind me asking, I
I
know it's
certainly
not
don't.
part of the.
It certainly is. In fact, I love guests that turn it around and ask me questions. I teach English as a second language, and I actually come from an academic background of international affairs. So, of course, I know a lot about Iraq and the Middle East. And you're very right about everything you said. There's a lot of misunderstanding, and
Absolutely.
a lot of people are not Muslim, and it's a very common misunderstanding. Yeah, there's a lot of religions in the Middle East. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, do you like all French people? Do you like your steak rare also?
Why? Because you know I'm a French speaker. Did I
Yep.
mention that to you?
Yeah, you did.
Well, good. Well, I hope that all French people take their steak rare. Saignant, as we say. I hope they take it saignant. They should, right? Right. But maybe not. That's you know what? That's a real. You know what? That is an excellent analogy. So if not all French people take their steak saignant, as in bloody, then probably
Mhm.
not all people in Iraq are Muslim, right? It must be.
Exactly,
That's
exactly.
a
Yep.
brilliant. Well, Wasim, you go about life. One thing that really stands out to me is your confidence, and your character just shines right through. You're someone that's just bursting with confidence. You don't even really know who I am, but you're just very, very comfortable sharing with me who you are as a person, and I really look up to you for that. That's so cool, man.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
So then, after the School for the Blind in Idaho, but by the way, Idaho's in the United States. Um, but just to make it, so some people are shaky with the geography, so I'm glad we're helping them with the geography. But so then, where did you go to university, and where did you take your education from there?
I actually stopped my schooling at a high school diploma.
Okay.
I honestly was thinking of being an interpreter,
Mm-hmm.
because when I went to SWEP, which is just the student work experience program, and it teaches blind students how to find jobs and stuff. I met this guy who he knew that I was Middle Eastern. He's like, "Do you speak the language?" And I was like, "Yes, I actually do." And he really wanted me to be an interpreter for the CIA, actually. And he wanted me to get into the CIA and actually be like an interpreter. But unfortunately, that never worked out. I really didn't want to do college and
Right.
do like
Right.
an associate's degree. And they required you to do like an associate's degree, which is at least 2 years, if I remember right, in college. And I honestly did not want to pursue that path. And like I said earlier, now I actually found a really great job working at the Hilton Garden Inn Hotel. And I really love that job, and I would not change it for the world, honestly.
Well, honestly, I think that's an excellent answer. That's an excellent answer. Yeah, it's not for everyone. Not everyone needs to be an interpreter. It's certainly not for everyone. At a later date, when I have more time to speak to you off air, I will tell you that I have some ideas for things that you can do, and you will use your Arabic here to help Aaron's opinion. So I have an idea, and you will definitely be able to use your Arabic skills
Sure.
in several ways with several other people. But anyway, I think that's really fun. So another really interesting thing about you, Wasim, is that you work for this Hilton hotel. So I've stayed in a lot of great hotels all over the world, but I've never stopped to ask, hey, gee, what's it like to work in a hotel? I'm fascinated by it. Tell us.
I mean, it's pretty much like everything. There's the good customers, and then there's the bad customers. And yeah, if you bad customers
Oh,
out
yeah.
there, you know who you are, you
They do.
know how
Wait
it
a minute. Let's
is.
let's let's be entertaining. Tell us about your by the way, this is marked as explicit for adults only, so let's just go crazy. Tell us about your craziest customer ever.
I'm not gonna go into too much details, but like
Okay.
some some people
Tell
are
me about
just
your
like,
second. Okay, tell me about your second or third craziest, not the number one, but your bronze medal or silver medal for someone that was really weird or really
I
crazy.
mean, really, yeah. I mean, I've never really, I can't really say I've weird stuff. I've heard of stories of other people
Mm-hmm.
experiences. Like one of my coworkers said that he went into the bathroom and he had a customer come in there, and he was in the women's bathroom, and went in there and started using them with like wham. Um, I'm here, and she's like, "Oh, that's over as right outside too to top it off." Hello.
I love that. I love that sense of humor.
Uh,
Definitely.
yeah, yeah. She literally was like, "Oh, yeah, it's okay," and she just proceeded to use the bathroom right in front of him, and her husband was just like right outside, and he had no idea. And my coworker was like looking at her like, "What the hell's going on now?"
There are some weird people. Whew, that's the type of style. I love that type. That's my sense. I love that sense of humor. That's my type of thing.
But me personally, I've had people like I'd be vacuuming and they just come up to me and I shut off the vacuum, right? You would think they would pass or anything. No, they would stand there, wait for me to start the damn vacuum again, and then that's when they try to pass. Well, I shut off the damn vacuum for you. Why don't you pass already?
Yeah, people just don't understand that. Yeah, people don't are not really aware of how to act in those are type of again the social cues, and apparently sighted people don't get
Yeah,
it right either.
yeah, exactly. And that's what I
Mm-hmm.
mean by bad customers. And, like, it's just, just because, I'm blind doesn't mean when I say go ahead, does not mean just stand there like a statue and just listen.
Right, right.
When I
You know
say
what I've
go
no.
ahead, it means go ahead, man. Be like, come on.
Well, yeah, man. God, you don't have to tell me what you think. I don't know what. Go ahead. I tell people that all the time. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. God, hate that. God Almighty, what's wrong with these people? But it's weird that you
And I don't
mentioned
know if this has happened to you, but
it
do
has.
you have like when you're crossing the street, you get these idiot drivers
Yeah,
that when you wave your hand for them to like go forward past you, do they
yeah,
sit you the street or they come out of their window and they're good cross. I'm telling you to go. I'm moving my hand. Get the hell on. I like to rush you. It's ridiculous.
yeah. That I can't. That I can't stand. But the statue thing that you mentioned, Wasim, that reminds me of French people too. Because in France, if you're walking down the street with your cane, I've noticed French women did it. They would like stand instead of moving to the side of me to just let me pass. They would just get in my way and stand in the middle of the street and let me pass
Oh
them.
my god. Yes.
Yeah. And
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
know.
I hate
See,
when
here's
people do
well,
that.
but I also I'm not sure that it's truly meant to be rude. I can't tell if it's that they're trying to express, no, I see that you have a cane, so I'm going to stop and let you pass me, or if they truly are intending to communicate that they're blocking my path on purpose. It's
I
not
I,
entirely
I don't
clear.
understand, but that's happened to me here in, but also in Idaho. Like some people would just stand in your way, and then even though they know you're coming toward them with a cane, like the other day, there were like three guys blocking the mall away, and they were right in the middle, chatting it up. They saw me coming toward them, and they still didn't move. So I literally gave them a good whack with my cane and I just pushed through because I was
Yeah.
like, well, if you're not gonna get the hell out of my way, I'm gonna push right on through. Screw you. I'm not gonna stay here and be nice to you if you're just being really annoying. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, why bother be nice to people? I was like, why? Who cares? Why bother be nice? I guess, But I think that that's how people are anywhere, really. I mean,
it is true. Yeah, a lot
that's
of it's everywhere. Yeah, it really is everywhere.
definitely, definitely. So, but I mean, have you found that this hotel is accommodating and open to having a blind person working there? I mean, I haven't heard from many blind people working in hotels.
Yeah, like I really do like that place. Like it's a really great place to work. I really enjoy the people. I enjoy the company. Like my coworkers are really understanding and stuff like that. Like I can actually have a normal conversation with my coworkers without having to get like an odd question like, "Do you shower like a normal person?"
Well,
Like, come on,
you should.
come
Wait a
on,
minute.
people. Like
Well,
seriously.
either I want to know how do normal people shower, or you can just respond, no, I don't take showers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I don't
here,
take
come
showers.
come here, smell my armpits. Do you think
Yeah,
I shower? I come
yeah. There's some weird stuff. The most commonly, and I'm sure you know it, but do you know what the most commonly Googled question about blind people is?
What's that?
What do you think it is?
Uh oh my god. I don't even know. Do you shave right? Do
That's a
blind
good
people shave?
that's a good question. That's a good guess, but actually, it's how do you wipe?
Oh dear God.
Yeah. So, people, and I can always tell the difference between someone that
And some of those questions, like some of my blind friends, like crack me up. Like one time, one of my friends was like, "If a waiter asks me to cut my food, I'm gonna use the knife to stab him with it." And I was laughing so hard because I was like, "Yeah, that would probably be something somebody would tell the waiter." It's like, "Hey, here, give me the knife. I want to put it to another use, actually."
Well, but each culture, I don't know. Sometimes in other cultures, it is socially acceptable to cut someone else's food as a sign of awesome
True,
respect.
true,
So,
true.
you never know. Like, and again, in those types of social situations, you're right, Wasim, but you also can't tell. It's hard to know for sure if it's
It, it,
truly,
it it is true, yeah, it is. But yeah, like some
yeah,
waiters do. Like I have heard some stories that are it's like some waiters are just really disrespectful. Like
yeah,
one
well,
time,
yeah.
one of my blind teachers, I went to this called the Adult Training Center. I don't know if you guys have that over there, but it's like a training center that teaches you adult skills and stuff. And one of the teachers there said that he went for his birthday and the waitress embarrassed him so bad because she gave everybody glasses and like actual glass glasses, and she wanted to give him a plastic sippy cup in front of all his
Are you
friends.
kidding me?
No, no, it was
That's
really
we that's
disrespectful.
really creepy. That is creepy.
Yeah,
That is
see, this is the stuff that I'm talking about. That if
that's
any sighted
weird.
people are listening on this podcast, just
Yeah.
please don't ask questions that you already know the answer to. We wipe the same as you. We wash the same as you. We shave the same as you. We do everything the same as you. Like some stuff, like reading and writing. Yes, we need accommodations, but stuff that actually makes sense, like driving wise, we cannot drive. We do not have super hearing. We cannot read your mind. Nothing weird like that. We don't have any superpowers.
Well, how do you know? I might be able to read your mind.
Oh, I don't know. You would have been able to read it a long time ago, Aaron.
Exactly, guys. So we really don't have superpowers. We do. My superpower is drinking coffee, so that can be a superpower. Do you want to drink coffee? Yeah, we have that around here. Mm, mm. Boy, it's so good. It's so good that blind people drink coffee. I wonder, are there sighted people who drink coffee? But yeah, it's really important to know the difference between being
A normal
respect
question and a
a,
silly
a
question that
normal a
just
normal question and a silly question. And you know what? I was talking to someone. I was talking to an acquaintance, and this person happens to be from one of the European countries. And I was
Mhm.
talking to them last night. We've been, friends, like talking a lot, and
Yeah.
and we were saying, how when you're a blind person, you can just tell someone's age. You can tell if they're normal. You can tell if they're respectful. You
Mhm.
don't need to make a big scene about whether the person's normal or not. You can just tell just by the
Yeah,
way the vibe of the
yeah,
conversation to some extent.
yeah, exactly. Like, there is just some like okay, like just don't mind me saying here. There's some asshole blind people. I've met
Well, of
some
course.
assholes. They're just blind people, but that's not why we're blind or anything like that. And that has nothing to do with it. It's just people. There's some asshole sighted people,
A lot of them.
asshole disabled people. There's a lot of different disabilities. Just because we're blind, sighted, can't hear, we have some mental problems, does not mean we're bad or good. Don't judge people's how good people are or how bad people are just because they can't see or they can't hear or anything like that. Judge them by their personalities, people. Like you can tell if a person's a good person or a bad person by their personality. Like I worked at this restaurant and the people treated me like trash just because I could not see. Like they would like the pars or whatever, they would purposely add stuff like, for example, they would pour pepper powder in there while I'm washing the dishes or anything like that before they would hand them to me. And the pepper would honestly get in my nose and stuff, and I would start coughing. And it's just wrong because like they already judge me because just because I'm blind, and none of them even bothered even like talking to me or even getting to know me. They just automatically assumed, oh, this guy's an asshole just because he's disabled. Let's ignore him. Let's not talk to him. Let's make it a living hell to work there. And I eventually had to quit, unfortunately, because it was
Well,
just
that's
that
that's
to that
luckily
point.
you quit. Luckily you quit because you didn't need to waste your time there. So that's good.
Yeah, I really did not. Yeah, I really honestly had to quit because they, and then at the beginning they were like, yeah, we're gonna give you a different job as soon as this guy comes back, and they honestly cut back my hours. Didn't want to find me a different job. They said there was no other job, and it turns out I was just a replacement for the guy that went to visit, and they were only giving me 5 hours a week. $45 a week was not worth all that crap they were putting me through. And I was like, no, I quit. I will not take your crap and get paid $45 a week for it. It's not right. It's not fair. You're just judging me because of my disability. And unfortunately, a lot of sighted managers do that. Like I honestly, in my lifetime looking for a job, I have honestly, I could say honestly, I filled out more than 200 applications, and the only two that went through were the restaurant and the hotel. So just
Good.
to give blind people an
Well, you
idea,
know what? That
don't.
impresses. You know what? That impresses me. That impresses me a lot. Um,
And I wasn't getting to show off or anything, but you know, it is show off material. No, I was trying to tell people, don't give up. If you're looking for a job out there, truly do not give up. Like, I know it is kind of frustrating. Sometimes I just want to like put down the phone and just give up and say, worth it. I can't do this anymore. And I don't know. And I finally did find this job at the hotel after a long time searching. It took me 4 years to find this job, people. It's not fast. It's not easy. You have to have patience, and you honestly have to put the effort into it.
Good. Yeah, you're right. I hope you guys listen to Wasim because he's absolutely correct. I want to come back to that in a minute. So then how on earth did you get into YouTube and what are your motivations? And it seems like although I confess I haven't listened or gone through your content, I've played it a little bit. You're having a lot of fun over there and gaming is a really important hobby for blind people. So educate us about that if you want.
Absolutely. So I started. It was back in 2015, and honestly, I'm not gonna say, "Oh yeah, I'm a big shot and I wanted to do this and that." No, I honestly want to try YouTubing, and I was like, you know what, I like chemistry, science, and stuff like that. So I was like, why not do experiments on YouTube? I wanna do have some fun. I wanna record myself mixing different chemicals and causing all kinds of explosions and stuff like that, and having fun with it. And honestly, that's how I started off. And I had a lot of fun with it. My first video, I honestly did Japanese candy tasting. And a lot of like my videos have to do with like tasting candies, different sodas. I even did like the one chip challenge one time, and that was a disaster. But I did it anyway, and I recorded it, and it was really fun. Like, yeah, I puked my guts out afterwards, but I actually enjoyed uploading the content. Like, and honestly, that's why what people should get out of this is do what you love the most on YouTube. Don't let other people bully you into showing them what they want to see. And then after that, I looked around and I saw, like, for example, I was trying to find a game called Emmerich the Demon, and there was no walkthrough for it. And I was like, why is the blind audio games walkthrough so limited when I can just search up any game off my head, Mortal Kombat, BlazBlue, any other cited game that I play on my PlayStation or anything like that? There's an instant walkthrough of that game, but there is no walkthroughs of audio games for the blind. And I felt so bad, and I was like, you know what? I need to help people out there find the content that I've been looking for. So from now on, I'm gonna upload audio games. It's not for money. It's not for subscribers. Nothing, because I have a job. I don't need it. Hence why I upload once a week
Oh,
on my
so do
days
I.
off,
Yeah.
and that's I do like an hour, 2 hour game through
Good.
walkthroughs of games like that. And I honestly tell people, hey, I'm not looking for you to subscribe. I'm not looking for you to share. I'm not looking for you to like, but I want you to do it so other people like you who found the channel can find it a lot easier, because you're not just helping me, you're actually helping your fellow blind people look up that channel and share it so they can get the content they need. So I've been, as much as I can, any blind group that I join or anything like that, I share my videos there, not for subscribers, people, not for likes, not for shares. I share it to help you guys. This isn't for me. This is honestly for you guys.
And honestly, click the link in the description to learn more about the channel. And it's called Wind Tiger.
Yes, Wind Tiger, and that's my email name. But originally, I came up with it because I'm from the year 1998,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm really like interested in the Chinese zodiac. And
Good. Cool.
I actually, my animal is the tiger, and
Mm-hmm.
I like they also, the Chinese do the elements and like what element you're associated with, and I actually associate with the wind element and stuff like that.
Well, that's really fun. That's I'm loving this stuff. Wind Tiger. All right. Well, click the link in the description for more information. You guys can definitely go subscribe. And one thing that I have found is when you only focus on uploading content that you take ownership of and that you love, you do get subscribers and you do get likes because people secretly notice, right? Just like we were saying before, when people are
Mhm.
truly kind and genuine, we can definitely notice. And when people upload content that is worth it and valuable and truly helping others, that shines right through. So on this channel, that's why I don't tell you to subscribe and like and share because I hope that you will. And I think the
Yeah,
more
exactly.
because the hope is that you will look at my content and think that that is knowledge that someone else needs to have. What like we say here,
Exactly.
like we say here, help one person today, help a million tomorrow. So if you like what you're seeing and you share it only one time, you're actually helping millions of others, and then the message does get out.
Mhm.
And I've seen
Yeah,
it, Wasim. I've helped people on other continents before. This does work, just as long as you
mhm.
love doing it and you make an attempt to help others.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's really all of that is really fascinating. I'm sure that you are a huge illegally cited fan.
I've seen some of his videos. Yes, I really do like his what you call it, Heathcote videos. Those are, unfortunately, I did rant about that on to Apple, or like on YouTube, about Apple constantly taking down audio games of blind people that are like really good. Like they took down Echoes of Livia,
Yeah, yeah.
they've taken
And
down
I know what
Heathcote.
this happened, and it doesn't. I mean, if it happened to our great friend, I have had Jesse. I have had illegally cited here on Aaron's opinion. I mean, I don't know him personally, but I know we know of each other, and he's been on the show before.
No
Probably,
way, that's so cool.
yeah, yeah. He's not in the WhatsApp group. He's a little bit more reserved, but all to their own, as we say. But anyway, I've heard of this problem. So if it happened to illegally cited, that wouldn't. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. That happens a lot because the bots and the software that analyzes the videos, if they hear sounds from a game that is not being produced or played by that
No, no,
game.
no. I mean like Apple
Yeah,
in particular, like Apple actually takes down audio games. Like a
because
lot of
they're, you
times
know why?
they,
Because they're paranoid about copyright violations. It's not, but they're paranoid about that.
yeah, I don't know, like, but
That's
yeah,
the reason they're
I've
paranoid
gotten a
about
lot of,
getting it. They don't. Apple doesn't want to. I know. I can tell you exactly. Apple doesn't want to get into a legal fight because some company didn't want their game to be played by. They didn't want that. So some of those sounds are what they call copyright sounds.
no, no,
Um,
I mean like legally cited Heathcote video is
yeah.
actually still there. I mean like actual apps on the App Store that are audio games. A lot of times Apple will take those down out of the App Store.
Okay, okay, got it, got it. That. That wasn't clear to me. Okay, so you're
Yeah, yeah,
saying that the Apple company removes. Okay, we mixed up the verbs there. So you're saying that
yeah, yeah,
Apple removes apps on the phone that are audio games for blind people, that they physically
yeah,
remove those apps. Well,
yes,
that's not okay. The only reason why they could be doing that, the only reason that would come to my mind is that perhaps those apps are not from, the developers that Apple approves of. Maybe they're like experimental developers, and Apple is paranoid about downloading viruses or some,
could
or
could be, or
that's what
I
would
have
come to my mind.
also noticed that Apple removes games because I don't know if you're in the Sortie Questers group on
I'm
Facebook,
I'm not.
but this developer, he actually talks about it a lot, and he says that they charge you like I think $100 a month or something like that, and could be that those games stop paying them or stop updating their software,
Yeah,
and they didn't
yeah.
want their app store to get hacked
You
or
know what else too
whatever
happens
reason.
sometimes is these developers that create these audio games realize that they aren't making money, so then it becomes too expensive to make the game better, so then they don't want to play it, so then they just
Sure.
take it down. So it's hard to pinpoint
Yeah.
exactly where in the equation it happens. It's, I mean, it may seem as if it was Apple, and it could have been, or it could have been taken down by the developer of the game. To give another great analogy, I can take down a video on YouTube. I can take down a video of my video, or YouTube can take down a video on my
Sure.
channel. So it
Sure.
could have
Yeah.
gone, and unless you're the person that did it or had it happen to them, it's not clear. So who knows? But I would
Yeah.
say, although I don't know of him well at all, I would say direct all your questions. Nobody understands it better. I mean, you're a brilliant philosopher in the field, no question. But illegally cited, man, oh man, he can do it. He understands every detail of that. So just ask him. He would direct you, and he would probably know where to find something similar, or something, of that
Yeah.
nature. Yeah, yeah, that's really, really interesting. So I'm sure that as we have about I have about it's going to be a little awkward. I have exactly about 15 minutes, and then when this alarm goes off on my clock, I have to go and get back to work. But I want to tell you, this has already been an amazing episode. I just love your sense of humor. Just your personality is just very, very, just the personality that I celebrate and look up to in all people. So thank you for that. But I'm sure you have
Yeah.
a lot of
Absolutely.
questions. I'm sure you have a lot of crazy questions for Aaron Richmond and Aaron's opinion. So I usually say it towards the end, but I want you to swing around and ask me some questions. So this is going to get good. What do you want to know about me, man?
Okay, so first question, what got you into podcasting?
What great, sure. I got into podcasting because I was listening to podcasts in the blindness community from all over the world, and I felt that there just are not enough strong podcasts where blind people, like people from Idaho, for instance, sometimes guests from Idaho don't make it onto podcasts because I don't know where Idaho is, so I can't guess them if I don't know where the United States is, right? So I wanted to create an environment where everyone, from a Wasim from Idaho, from a person in, I mean, we've had people from France, Jamaica, St. Lucia, Tunisia. I wanted to create an environment where the world is welcome here and welcome to come to me and share their story about blindness and overcoming things in an entertaining and knowledgeable way. And that's why I started Aaron's Opinion. And I've been teaching English as a teacher, as a second language for 6.5 years. And the thing that I love to do when I get up, I just want to talk, 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 talk. I just love talking to people, educating people, and helping people to have a better day just makes me feel better. So I want to do it. And you know what I figured out? Gee whiz, I can push record and then I can share my opinions with the world. Because obviously the world needs to agree with my opinions because, all of my opinions are facts. That's why they're my opinions. So I just kept on uploading and sharing and uploading and sharing. Next thing Wham Bam Bob's your uncle. We got a podcast on a radio station, a YouTube, and I love from the bottom of my heart, I love every episode more and more and more because this is proof. You and I are living evidence of the fact that this is something that blind people need, love, and appreciate.
Yeah, and guys, listen to his opinions because he's special. As all blind people are, we're all special. We're so special.
Did you say that they should listen to my opinion just because I'm special? We're all. Is that seriously? Seriously?
Yep. You should watch our videos because us blind people, we're so special that we deserve for you to watch our content.
I'm sure we'll definitely get some views and get some opinions. But you guys really should comment more. I know that you guys are scared, but if you love what we're doing here at Aaron's Opinion, please comment below and share because other people, especially if you can give this video to someone who needs this knowledge, that would be really good. Anyway, your other questions, though, I'm sure you have a lot of them, but we'll get through as much as we can today. So go
For
ahead.
sure. So, like, what's a good place to start if I want to do my own podcast? Like, if I, for
Excellent.
example,
Yeah.
wanted to do a podcast,
Well,
where should I go?
well, in other words, if you want to get into podcasting yourself,
Yes.
well, you already are. I mean, YouTube can be perceived as a podcast.
Okay.
One thing is you could record your videos. This is over Zoom, but the reason why it's a podcast is because there's two files. We have an audio that becomes the podcast on the podcast feed, and then the video that is right there where you guys are watching on YouTube. So, really, you already are. I would highly recommend that you do get into podcasting and that you maintain the YouTube. Each time you upload a YouTube video, that should also be an audio podcast. So if you get into the habit of doing it once a week, which is perfect, then people do notice the progression and the investment that you make, and people look up to that.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And where would I upload the audio podcast? Like, is there a website or
Well,
anything I
there's a
need to go
hosting.
to upload?
Well, we can cover it in detail at a later date, but for here on the recording, I'll tell you that Anchor is a great place to go. So you find a hosting company, and then you learn how to move the audio files into that. And over time, you build your brand and you learn how to use different sound effects and different things. And then you create these creative uploads. And then that becomes, what people, listen to. And then that gets distributed on iTunes and all the major places. Now, and then eventually you can get your podcast onto the internet radio side, which is where Aaron's Opinion is. And that's kind of a long story, but I was interviewing. You're going to ask, well, Aaron, how did you get your podcast on the radio? I'll tell you. I was interviewing a CEO of a radio station, and they were very gracious to give me a chance on their station, and we're very appreciative to that.
Nice.
So it's about the radio one, right place, right time is how I got on there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yes.
And what's the name of the station that you're on?
Well, it's called Life Improvement Radio, and it's part of the Helium Radio Network. So shout out to them, Life Improvement Radio. We're very appreciative of you.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Thank you.
What do you like?
I have a question. I have an interesting question. So originally you're from the Middle East. So have you noticed in your analytics, do you ever get like people commenting in Arabic on your videos? Do you ever have people from that part of the world watching your content? I'm just curious.
Unfortunately, no. I don't like speak Arabic on my videos. I mostly do like English because I've never really gotten a lot of interest from the Middle Eastern community saying, hey, why don't you like do this in another language? But if anybody is interested for me to do it in another language, I'd be more than happy to translate into Arabic and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I
You
have
can,
never honestly
I mean, yeah,
gotten into it.
what you could consider doing, and some YouTubers do it, but if you, the problem with you doing this is if you do it, you have to match the consistency. You could upload half of your content in Arabic and the other half in English. So each week you would
Mhm.
release an Arabic video and then the next week an English video and go back and forth until you
Mhm.
capture. The problem with that, as you can tell, is you would need to have an audience in that region that was willing to subscribe and listen. Mm-hmm.
Exactly, yeah. Because it is a lot harder to do like two videos of the same thing and then literally have to like change it around. And mind you, the games, most of the games that I play are in English. So
That's true.
unfortunately,
Have
I
you
have never
ever, I'm just
played any
purely
other
curious,
game.
have you ever tried to play an Arabic written game where it was like all functioning and
I
written
have
right?
I have never found any. That's the thing is
See,
I have
because I'm
honestly
wondering
never.
through all this podcasting work that we're doing, I'm wondering, hey, if you guys are at home, I mean, our great friend in Tunisia, by the way, I mentioned Tunisia, Radwan Mednini, he's one of our greatest supporters, like you, Wasim, here at Aaron's Opinion. You'll know of him in a couple hours very quickly. You'll know exactly who Radwan Mednini is, but he's from Tunisia. And I don't know, he's never mentioned to me playing games in Arabic, but I would want to say that there probably is a market for it, and there probably are games. You just haven't noticed any because
Yeah,
of this
I
region.
just haven't gotten the right leads and the right direction. Like nobody has ever pointed me in the right direction of Arabic games. Like I played Japanese interactive games. And shout out to Aaron again. I played some French games and other games like that, but I have never seen Arabic.
Right.
And
Well, how did
I'm
you
pretty
play? How did you play the French game? I'm just curious.
I just saw it as like a language selection. Like the Inquisitor games, they have a French selection. I've never played it. I've seen
Right.
it like
Right.
as an option, like you can change it, but I have never seen like the Arabic aspect. And I'm pretty in depth in the audiogames.net website, and they shout out to them. They have a lot of audio games that are free of charge for the blind people.
Good.
And honestly, if you guys are interested, I would honestly go check them out. It's www.audiogames.net and literally check them out. They have hundreds, and I mean hundreds of audio games, and that's mostly where I find my games and stuff like that. The ones on the App Store, I am I do talk to these people. They're called Audio Games, the Audio Game Store, and they're really wonderful people. I have emailed them before. I have talked to them, and they
Hmm.
honestly let me sponsor their content, and they let me play their music on my videos and everything. And they're
Hmm.
really good people. I would
Hmm.
honestly check out their
Well,
content by the
probably you
by
know what I'm going to
the
ask you off air. I'm going to ask you, saying you're already going to anticipate what I'm going to ask you about that. So I want to know more about that a little bit later today. But anyway, Wasim, I wanted to say that I think that's an excellent, outstanding episode. You did a magnificent job. I would like to end this particular episode right at this moment, right here. But I just wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me. You really,
yeah.
you're a character, and we're really glad to have you here at Aaron's Opinion. All right.
But I'm special, Aaron. Can't I stay for another hour?
That's fantastic. That's fabulous. You're special. If only I didn't have work. I wanted to accommodate you. In all honesty, I have work in 9 minutes, but that timing of that comment was perfect. I love that, man. I just loved having you here, as always. And the other miracle about Aaron's Opinion, I don't know what it is, but each week the guest just gets better and better and better. So I don't know what it is, but
Because
Wasam.
we're special. I told you, Aaron. Come on,
Okay,
man.
you know what? If I agree with you, are you going to stop saying that I'm special? If I disagree and say, yeah, we're both special, man. Okay, fine. Great. Okay, good. Happy days, everybody, from another very special guest with a very special host on a very special podcast on a very special YouTube channel. Wasim, I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart. As I usually say in the outro, thanks so much, everybody. Stay safe out there around the world. Help one person today. Help a million people tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, everybody. And always remember that everybody, even you, are special. What a great way to end the episode, right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect, fantastic, man. Thanks so much, everybody.